Okay guys, so I want to show you a little bit about how to look up patients and profiles in this video. You're going to look up the profile and also how to look up the ERx. Let's start with looking up the patient. The way you get to that point, there's several ways, but the easiest way is just escape out. Press escape, escape, escape on the keyboard. Now you'll get to a point where it's on the RX number. You want to press enter, or you can use the mouse to click onto the patient section there. And we look it up by last name, comma, first name. I created a fake patient. Patient is the first name, last name is fake. You don't have to write the full name. If you do write the full name, it'll come up, but sometimes we misspell it, so we write part of the name. Another way is by writing the date of birth. And you don't have to use slashes like I did. You could use a period, 11, period 11, 11 hyphen 11. There's several ways that the birthday will come up. You can also use the phone number, which I didn't give this patient, so that is not there. But one of the benefits of using the phone number is, let's say a patient calls you back when we call them telling them there's some medication here, and they don't usually come to our pharmacy. They just came to the hospital. They don't want to give you their name. They don't want to give you their date of birth, and they're saying, well, you called me. You tell me why you were calling. And they still don't want to, even after you tell them they don't want to tell you why they're calling, you could tell them, well, can I get your phone number just so we can remove it if we called you an error? And they'll give you their phone number, and you'll be able to look up whose phone number we called. Then you'll see the name of the patient, and you'll say, well, we were actually calling this person, and then they may reveal something, or it may be a wrong number, and we'll be able to remove it from our system. So now, once you have the patient up, you can either press enter, and if there are several patients, when you press enter, it'll list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and when you press enter, you'll be able to choose on the keyboard 1, press the number 1, or you can just click on the patient using the mouse. Now, if you continue doing what I'm doing now, you're going to be typing a prescription, which you don't want to do at this point. We want to just check the profile. Let's say we want to check the profile from here. So one way to do that is to go into the profile using the mouse. On the left side, there's profile. It also tells you the keyboard shortcut, which is F6. So you could either press F6 or click this. And now you see that today, this is being done on October 25th. This was done, and there's actually something ready for pickup. And I'm hovering over this RP, and you see that a label was printed at 5:02 p.m. by me. And you can see here it was actually done by me, that's Moisi, MR. If you look at the user ID, it will say my name, even if it's a different person. So you always want to look at this RPH Tech information. Just a side note, if that RPH Tech info isn't here, it can be added over here, but that's for another time. So now we're in the profile. We get to see what's going on here. There's a lot more that you can find out in the profile, but here you can see that the label was printed, entered into the system, and you see that it's a cash patient. Another thing you can see is that, well, we'll go into actually the profile in another tutorial. So now let's say we want to look into the remarks of the patient. We want to look into the information of the patient, their address. That will be in the patient section. All the information on the patient, other than their actual medication profile, right, would be in the patient section. So we click on F3 here, or we press F3 on the keyboard, and now our patient info, it's date of birth, address, all that, allergies, all that information there. Insurance plans, the patient doesn't have any, but it will be there. And one of the most important things is remarks. Here on the top remark, we would have something like, copay, waive copay. Let's say they work in the hospital, and here is where you would have the remarks about where the prescription is. Let's say black bin, etc. So that's what you'll be looking for. Now, for an ERx, let's say they said, oh, I'm getting a prescription, it was sent today, and you see it was done in the profile. One of the things you want to actually check first is the ERx, and regardless of which one you do first, you should check both. It's good practice to even check it when they're coming in for a refill, just in case. Now for the ERx, you can either click here on the top, it says ERx, or it says ERx here, and the shortcut is F8. I click F8, and I click on receive messages, or I can go directly and click this button here. Now I set it for new because I don't want to actually show people's private information, which would show up here. We have no new prescriptions at this point. There's also pending, which is prescriptions that were clicked on. Maybe they were filled, maybe they were not filled. There's a lot of details there. And there's all. All would show everything, whether it's new or not. And this is for the past 15 days that we're going to search. And we're going to sort it by date sent. Messages on the page are 20 or 250, whatever it is. This is just something you can look at on the ERx screen. Now, the way you search an ERx, okay, which is important. The patient comes in, asking where you come from, emergency room, what's your date of birth? First thing is, what's your date of birth, let's say. So they give you their date of birth. You can put the date of birth here. And what I just did there, let me show it again, is bottom left, there's a search button. It also gives you the keyboard shortcut, which is F11. So I can either click there or press F11. Now you can put the date of birth of the patient. Remember, you can do it like this, or you can do it with dots. You can do it with dots, or you can do it with hyphen. There's several ways. You can also put the last name, comma, first name. And the next one is prescriber name. Next one is drug name. Usually you'll be looking for the patient name. The rest you'll actually have to see live, because I don't want to pull up any actual people's information, because this video will be shared publicly. Alright, so this is the first video tutorial. If you need any more help, we will have more tutorials coming up. If you need more help, you can ask someone. The best way to learn is from someone, but this is just to get you started before your first day or on your first week or so of training. Good luck.